everybody, this is Angie. Today we're going to go over Leetcode problem 121, the best time to buy and sell stock. For this problem, you're permitted to complete only one transaction, which consists of buying one and selling one share of the stock, separate days. You must buy before selling, and you have to devise an algorithm to find the maximum profit possible. And let's see, so there are a few examples and we're going to diagram that out first, and then we'll get into the coding. Okay, so let's diagram it out. And we're going to do two examples. The first input array for the first problem is 7, 1, 5, 3, 6, 4. The output there would be 5, which is the maximum profit we could make with one transaction. There are a few constraints for this problem. The first constraint is that you must buy first and then sell. You can't do it in reverse order. And you can only have one buy-sell transaction maximum. Some Leetcode problems, there are other ones that are buy and sell stock, and they'll give you the option of multiple transactions. The second input array is 7, 6, 4, 3, 1, which will give us an output of 0. There is no way to make a profit in this scenario. We're going to take the first input array and iterate through this one first. We're going to need two variables. They will both be integer variables. We're going to be tracking two things. First, the minimum price that we come across within the array. The second will be an integer variable, which will track the maximum profit that we could make up until any given element in the array. The pink arrow is going to be the iterator for the minimum value that we're tracking as we go through. And the black arrow will be the iterator for the maximum profit that we could make up until that point of time. And so starting off, we're going to set the min value to the value in the first element of the array, element 0, which is 7. The second iterator, maximum profit, at that point is 0 because we could at most have purchased at 7. We can't sell until we've purchased, so there is no profit yet. Then we're going to iterate through the array. At element 1, the minimum will become 1. That's the smaller of the two between 7 and 1, which is the smaller, and it's 1. Maximum profit at that point is still 0. Minimum at the next iteration becomes 1. It stays the same because 5 is more than 1. Maximum profit at that point is 4. So if we bought at 1 and sold at 5, we'd have a profit of 4, which is greater than 0. So we change maximum profit to 4. Continue iterating. The minimum stays at 1. The maximum profit stays at 4 because 3 is less than 5. So that would give us a smaller profit. So we don't make any changes there. Continue to iterate, and minimum is going to stay 1. Maximum profit will increase because 6 minus 1 is 5. So now the maximum profit is going to become 5. So we switch that out. Continue iterating. Minimum stays at 1 when the value is 4. And maximum profit is going to stay at 5 because that is the most profit that we've seen thus far. And so your output should be 5. Okay, so now we will go through the second input example, which is another integer array of 7, 6, 4, 3, 1. If you notice the difference between this one and the first example, all of the prices of the stock are decreasing as we go. So with this one, intuitively, you can tell there will be no profit possible because you have to buy and then sell. And if you buy for higher than you sell, obviously you're not going to make any money. So we're going to set up our iterators again. We'll have a minimum tracker, and we'll also track the maximum profit possible. And so starting off, minimum will be set to 7, the first element of the array, well, element 0. The second iteration will get us to a minimum of 6. a maximum profit of 0. That stays the same. Then we're going to keep iterating. The minimum will keep shifting down. So now it's 4. The maximum profit is still at 0. The minimum goes down to 3. And still we can make no money. So maximum profit is 0. And then finally we get to the end element of the array, and the minimum is 1. And so that returns a profit of 0. Okay, so let's go ahead and code it out. We're going to have an input of prices array. First, we're going to set up an edge case. So if the array of prices has no elements or it has one element only, it's not possible to buy and sell. So we're going to return 0. And then we'll set up our variables. We're going to have integer variable of maximum profit. So we'll call that max profit, set it to 0. We'll have an integer variable of minimum, which is the lowest price seen thus far. Then we're going to use both of those iterators to go through the prices array. So we're going to loop through, and for each price in the prices array, we're going to record the minimum price that we've seen up until this point. We want to take the min value between both the current element and the minimum that we've seen so far. We want to take the max value between the max profit that we've tracked so far and the current element minus the minimum value that we've seen up until this point. We'll take the maximum of those two, and that'll give us our max profit. And then we're going to return, of course, an integer of max profit at the very end. Okay, so let's hit submit and see what we get. There we go.